Okay, we have reached 53,000 miles. That ain't bad.
Cars and low emission vehicles. You can sit in them, you can play with them.
It's talking about electric cars on the radio.
For a few days
talking about
to test how they drive.
The fact they don't go very far.
And with David Martell, he's the CEO of ChargeMaster.
Popular plug-in car in the market.
Anyway, that was on BBC Radio 4.
Very well. It's a very similar
And
price
the date
to
is the 20th today
diesel engine car
of
but it's,
July.
obviously got.
Well, that's an odd one. Never had that before. I'm in reverse. It just says, please wait. I haven't had that in all the years. Very strange. Just please wait. I'm in reverse. It always shows the camera. Let's just put it back into drive again. So it's definitely not loading. Never ever done that. Alright, let's just put it back into drive. Nothing. Interesting. Okay, what happens if I... Nothing. CD, aux, nothing. Interesting. Well, I'll leave that a few more minutes and see what happens. Okay, come back up now. So that works. Put it in reverse. Wow, okay, sort of crashed out then. Bizarre, never ever had that before. Good morning!
Fully defend itself. Throughout, we've been...
Good morning! Excellent. Wow, so 2040 is when all new cars must be electric. How interesting. So that's quite an announcement for the UK. I would have also, there's a lot of criticism obviously of electric cars coming out from people's lack of understanding of things that most of you have followed this blog for the last 4 years we've already covered, because people like Robert Llewellyn have done videos on it. But go and look up Volts for Oil. I will, yeah, Volts for Oil, pretty sure it's called Volts for Oil. I'll put up a link in the description below. Go and check that out. But that's some news. I just thought I'd cover that topic very, very briefly, because I'm not really going to talk about it because I'm kind of all for it, to be honest. It's a long way away. It's all very knee-jerk at the moment in terms of people's reactions to it. People are accusing the government of being knee-jerk, but from what I can see from comments and things, there's a lot of knee-jerk reactions going on to the accusation of a knee-jerk reaction. So it's an interesting one. When you're talking, still quite a way away. As far as I know, perhaps someone can clarify this. Hey, someone else can do the legwork. If you've got existing diesel or petrol before that date, presumably it doesn't affect you. You still drive around in that until eventually it becomes, becomes useless, because you won't be able to resell it, presumably. Well, possibly you will be able to resell it. I don't know. What happens to people that own cars prior to that date? Presumably they're not affected, and it's just from that date onwards they all need to be. So eventually you'll have a declining fossil fuel powered car and an increase in electric cars. Obviously there's a lot of concerns about whether the grid can take it and all this sort of business, which of course it's a long way away. And people say it's not that far away, it's quite soon. But if you look at the development since I started driving an electric car, it has been absolutely mega. It's it's completely changed. There's hardly any rapids at all in the UK, and now they're basically in every motorway service station. There's tens of thousands of charge points all over. It's just completely different. There's still work needs to be done, but it's far from it in 4 years. And in 4 years, cars have gone from, I mean, the Tesla Roadster was out then. Yeah, it was out. Model S was just coming in at that point, I think, when I got into it. So you've got cars like mine, 85 to 100 miles per charge. You've got Teslas, 300 miles. I know they're stupid money, they're supercar money, but you know, they do that range. There are cars that are actually out there in mass production that do the range that people talk about. And where will we be in 20 years time? I wouldn't be surprised if you've got an 800-mile range EV. Would not surprise me at all. I think the golden marker would be, wouldn't it be brilliant to have a 1,000-mile EV? That's something I would absolutely love. And obviously battery technology is getting smaller and lighter, and I kind of see it in the same way as storage. So I've seen a photograph somewhere, it's worth looking up. I think it's a megabyte. Is it a megabyte or was it a gig? It probably was a gig. It was being loaded onto an aircraft years and years ago. A gigabyte of space. Now, what have I got? Yeah, I got on a micro SD, I've got 126 gigabyte, I think it is, 123 gigabyte micro SD, tiny. So I'm kind of going on those lines. I'm not saying it's exactly the same. It doesn't run dead parallel, but it's a similar idea, isn't it? You can kind of imagine that you're able to get batteries that do 800 miles and they're half the size of the one I got in this Leaf, you know, that sort of thing. So in terms of distance away, in some instances, no, it's not that far, and some, in terms of technology advancements, it's massively different. Unless there's some sort of easy for me to say, event, worldwide event that brings the whole of the industry down, and society, then aside from that, the advancement will continue, presumably at a similar pace. I mean, the pace has increased. The advancements are a lot quicker from the announcements you see coming out. So yeah, the price is plummeting like mad, price per kilowatt. So yes, well, there's that one. But Volts for Oil, I encourage you, the reason I'm talking about this really is to encourage you to share Robert's 2 videos he's done on it. I think it's miles for volts or something, but yeah. So there's a video, I will link that below for you that haven't seen it. I suspect a lot of you will have seen it, but some people haven't, and I've been sharing it with critics of electric cars who have just suddenly popped out of nowhere and know everything. I've been showing those videos as much as I can, as far and wide as I can, just to educate, really. I mean, you need to hear both sides. There's obviously arguments against. I mean, people are talking about how am I going to charge. You know, I live in a flat. I live in a high-rise flat. It's all the classics coming back out again. I live in northern Scotland, and I want to visit the deep south of the United Kingdom. How can I get there? It's impossible. My car only does 85 miles. Anyway, you got people like that. You know, I live in a high-rise flat, and they're all valid points. They're not the hinge point of whether or not you should get an electric car. That's the thing that's missed. I think the emphasis is always put on the freak occurrences. So I mean, a lot of people, I don't say majority, a lot of millions and millions upon millions of people could switch to an electric car that aren't already on electric cars right now because they all own drives or have got access to a charge point right next to them. But for those people, obviously they're saying, well, people saying, oh, you have thousands of leads. Imagine in 20 years' time you have leads all over the pavements and everything, which of course would be correct in some instances if you took to exact today's technology, but if you thought 20 years ahead, possibility of wireless charging, possibility of charge stations like petrol stations that charge massively faster than they currently do. I mean, if you could charge to your car that did 300 miles of range, say, in 15 minutes, that would be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? And you would wait at one of those filling stations for 15 minutes, it wouldn't be a big deal. So there's those sorts of things really going on and popping heads up. So for you guys who are already on the case of electric cars, I encourage you to share those videos and put people straight in a ridiculously polite manner. And I'm not going to get involved in the arguments. I'm just going to lay down, you know, this electric car saved me thousands of pounds. It's done. I've done, you know, I'm coming on, clocking on to 55,000 miles, and it's been basically zero hassle. I've had times where I've run out, but if you know the ethos of these videos, I just push things to the max and mess about with them without a care in the world. So you know, Mike's never run out. Susie, has she run out once? She might have run out once. And if you spoke to any of those, they would acknowledge that it's mistakes they made. But also, we're with a car that does 85 to 100 miles. So, you know, it is what it is. It's an early adoption of them, basically. But now the other cars, 150, 200 miles, I don't think there would ever be an excuse to running out so many charge stations. And ownership is incredibly easy. So the arguments I only put forward is just really, number one is save thousands of pounds. If you don't want to save thousands of pounds, that's fine. Don't need to save thousands of pounds. No need. See you later. And the green side of it, I don't say, you all know as well. If you watch this, I didn't buy it because I'm a greenie by any greenie. It's an offensive term almost, isn't it? You've got to be politically correct nowadays. But I'm not. You know, that wasn't my motive, and I think most people's will be economics. If the car is a great price and it saves them a load of money, there won't be any complaints, and the complainants against this will slowly fade away. And it's good, hopefully people will actually, rather than just arguing on the face of it, will delve into it and see all these arguments. The fact that you can draw from these cars when they're wired in. You know, the grid can smooth off massive peaks because of this thing. It can take 1%, I'm happy with that. Take 1% from me and take 1% from the neighbour, 1% from the other neighbour. You know, it's brilliant. So yeah, what these can do, and the fact they can power your house. I mean, if there was a power cut, for instance, power your house. I love that idea. There is no grid to car at the moment. Grid to car to grid at the moment. That's readily available. But when that comes out, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Flick of a switch, job done. Power your house. And if you've got solar, man, oh man, you get a good feed in from your solar. That would be brilliant. You can charge 80% of your car up, or even half of your car, and then power your house. Half your house is powered directly from your own house roof from your car into your house. So yeah, loads and loads of benefits to the whole thing, and never mind servicing costs going down. So educate those people in a nice manner, because it's a win-win. It really is. I just went past the school a minute ago, and I'm not chucking out. I've actually come to completely dislike the exhaust pipe. You know, that thought that you are just bombing along, spewing out rubbish, cancerous particles as you go by. Hello, children. Whee! Breathe that in. So I'm actually hoping and waiting for the buses to change completely to electric, because they're one of the worst. Oh, flipping out, the car's pushing its luck. They're one of the worst that actually, you know, just you follow school buses around, they are spewing the stuff out. So from that point of view, that would be good as well. Anyway, that's enough blabbing on. But for those of you who are not in the UK, you may have seen the announcement that the all new car sales from 2040 have to be, I don't think it's solely electric, but electric in some way. So it includes hybrids, I presume. I haven't really looked into it. That's how much research I've done to this. I've got my car this morning with a cup of tea, which is now gone cold. Yeah, and saw the news announcement. Seen some people arguing about it, and posted up a few videos, and then came on here. Yeah, I should be a journalist. I should be a journalist in today's world. I'd be perfect. No, we're gonna die. You're gonna go electric. Anyway, see you later, guys. Bye. Right. Also, with the release of the Model 3, I think I shall be getting my deposit back, or seeing if there's a way of selling that on to someone, because it was placed 3 or 4 days after, was it 2 days after the announcement? I think it was 2 days after the announcement of, I'll put a screenshot up now, of it actually being released a year or so ago. It ain't going to be out in the UK until 2019 at some point, probably be the end when it 2019, I should imagine. So no, I won't be waiting that long for it. Yeah, so I'll go any one of the other multiple routes that will become available over that period of time, I think, especially with the experience I've heard from some users and seen online. So I'll not the Model 3, obviously the Tesla product. So yeah, I will see what comes up, I guess, come January, see what there is, see where we go, see what this is going to be sold for. I might actually ring them up nearer the time, so a month before the end or 2 months before the end, and say how much to buy it. And if it's stupid money, that's the end of that, and then I'll look. I mean, in terms of range, the Zoe's the one, isn't it? The Zoe is the boy for range. See what else comes on the market between now and December. Shouldn't very long at all. So we're August now, 1st of August. It's just racing away. And I'm going to miss this. I know it's going to be too much money. They're going to want stupid money for it. It's going to be such a shame. But never mind. So I'll find something else to buy and try. Do you know what? And I'll see when I get there, but I would kind of really like to do a video blog on ownership of a Tesla Model S, second-hand one. Buy a second-hand one and do a video blog on it. Could be absolutely awesome, couldn't it? Could be the best car ever. Could be absolutely brilliant. I have no issues with it at all. But that would be a very expensive experiment, especially if the car was out of warranty, which is highly likely if I was able to even closely afford it. And that would be a loan as well. So probably ain't going to happen. It's just a thought that keeps niggling me. That would be like, in terms of the range and performance, that would just be it then 5 years, 8 years. That would be it. You know, I wouldn't seek anything else. Downside is dog, and that's the downside to any of the new cars, which is good because like it puts a cap on me wanting to go expensive or new, because it would be absolutely trashed. So this car stinks of dog, absolutely reeks of dog, which I don't mind, you know. But it would be a bit of a shame to get a fairly new, expensive car, or if it's new, it's going to be expensive regardless of what it is, and then put a Husky in it, and then get everything absolutely covered in hair and stinking of dog. So yeah, it's. Do you want to run a workman over it? Yeah, so I think that's almost a given. I might do a quick shout out on Twitter and on Facebook and see if anybody wants to take on that reservation. The only way they can take on that reservation, because Tesla, I think they own everything, seem to anyway, they'd put a stop on that. You wouldn't be able to transfer that car. And I say that because someone bought a Tesla Model S and turned it into a limo, and they shut it down, the car down. So if anyone's got any information on that story, that would be great. Just a while back, they bricked it. Seems remarkable that they own the car, apparently. I don't know any details about it, but from what I've been told, they owned that Tesla Model S. They're going to use it for their limo service, cut it open, and was going to stretch it out, and they bricked it. Which is shows you, even if there's something else like that, finance or something with Tesla, and they shouldn't have done it, or they stole it. It does show you the power that they've got to, or all these connected cars have, regardless of it, whoever got a connected car, the potential to be able to shut them down and brick them, you know, potentially your own property because of some dispute. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Anyway, so if anyone knows about that story, let me know, because I'd be interested in the comments below if anyone's got any hard evidence on it. Yeah, so what am I going to do? Don't know. Wait and see what goes on. But at the moment, a quick status update. I am on 54,000 miles. I have got no issues to report at all. Full bars. Driving to work. The only way I'm real gauging it, I will do. Someone did suggest that I do a test again where I try and get the maximum range out of it as possible, like I did 3 years ago. I think the most I've ever got out of this, and I've completely forgotten, there's so many episodes I can't remember where it is, I think it was 110. I did 2 tests. One is the most I could get, and the other was to see the least I could get by just going full throttle up to 30, not breaking any speed limits, not driving dangerously, but just really uneconomically, and using the brakes rather than trying to eke out the regen. It was actually more hassle trying to get less distance than it was trying to get more out of these electric cars. Interestingly, it's more stressful trying to lose battery percentage. You'd think it'd be really easy, but it's quite difficult to go and get it down to about 80 miles at the time. So I will at some point do an episode where I just go out, it's finding the time, going out and just just trying to see what it will do now. But I'm arriving to work, the only gauge I've really got and been using, that's why I'm bothered doing it again, is that I'm arriving to work on a pretty much the same percentage as I always have done. Nothing's really changed. Not like I'm arriving to work on 90% or 89%. Usually arrive about 92%. Right, that's probably it. I've got to go now find all the clips I've recorded over the last couple of months. Hidden away in my iPhone somewhere. Compile them and then upload them. But yeah, anyone else has had their car now for a long period of time, let me know how you're getting on in the comments below. So whether you just say you've had it 6 months and how you're getting on with it, or you've had it 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever. I'd be interested to see how you're all getting on with it and what car it is, of course. Is it Leaf? Is it a Zoe? Blah 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 blah. Also, anyone know any good deals with the Renault Zoe, the 40 version, the ZE40, what it was called, where you own the battery? Is there such a thing? I see all these adverts, I've been looking around, and they've all been, you know, you contact them, they don't say anything about it until they contact them. Goes, I got a battery lease with it. Oh yeah. You think, well, how much is that? Oh, 70 quid if you want to do 5,000 miles a year. Okay, I'll leave that then. I should just put on there big writing, battery lease, here's a deal. Anyway, so anyone know any good deals are for that Zoe, let me know. I want to compare the prices, and it's quite difficult to do if you don't know what you're getting for the price without ringing every single person up and asking them. Right, until next time, goodbye. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe, because subscribers over 4 years is woeful, it's awful. Bye.